After impregnating his 15-year-old daughter Sheila, Ronald Gene Simmons found himself under investigation. To evade arrest, Simmons gathered up his wife Becky and their 7 children and fled to Dover, Arkansas. The family lived in 2 mobile homes that were placed together without heat or any indoor plumbing. When his wife decided she could no longer take the abuse, she told Simmons she wanted to move to Texas with their children. This may have been what triggered the nightmare that unfolded in December 1987. And trigger warning, this story is a far cry from any Hallmark holiday special. Shortly before Christmas, Simmons made up his mind to eliminate his entire family. He instructed several of his children to dig a large 4-foot deep pit, telling them he planned to install an outhouse there. And on the morning of December 22nd, Simmons began the massacre by shooting his wife Becky and their 29-year-old son Gene. He then fatally strangled his 3-year-old granddaughter Barbara. After he had a drink, he then dumped the 3 bodies in a cesspit on the property. When his 4 children returned home from school that day, Simmons told them he wanted to give them their Christmas presents early, one by one. Once alone with the victims, he strangled them while holding their heads underwater in a rain barrel. 7 more family members were scheduled to arrive for a holiday visit. Upon arrival, Simmons fatally shot his 23-year-old son Billy and his 22-year-old daughter-in-law. He then strangled and drowned their 20-month-old son. Later that afternoon, he shot and killed 24-year-old Sheila, the daughter with whom he shared a child, and her 23-year-old husband Dennis. Simmons then fatally strangled 7-year-old Sylvia, the child he had incestuously fathered with Sheila, and his 21-month-old grandson Michael. He covered all the bodies with coats except for that of Sheila, which he draped with the best tablecloth in the house. 2 of the grandchildren were wrapped in plastic sheets and left in abandoned cars near the home. Simmons then nonchalantly sat back among the festering bodies until December 28th, watching television and drinking beer. Simmons then drove to his old office and shot a 24-year-old woman with whom he was infatuated. He then drove off and fatally shot a stranger and wounded an owner of an oil company. He drove to a convenience store where he had previously worked and opened fire, injuring 2 more people before heading to the freight company that used to employ him, shooting and injuring a woman there. Simmons then held a woman at gunpoint, stating, "I've gotten everybody who wanted to hurt me." Simmons was found guilty on all counts of murder and executed by lethal injection in 1990. Many find it hard to believe that the family members who got out from under Simmons' tyranny returned for a Christmas visit. But this just proves the kind of power a parent has over their children throughout a lifetime, no matter what the relationship is or was. And yet, with this responsibility, Simmons remained unaccountable, externalizing blame to the very end. A letter was found that he had written to his daughter Sheila after she'd reported him for S.A.ing her 6 years earlier. In it, he wrote, "You have destroyed me, and you've destroyed my trust in you. I will see you in hell." The crime was once called the worst family mass murder in American history, though the proper term for this type of crime is a spree murder, which refers to individuals who kill 2 or more people at different locations with no cooling off period between homicides. Simmons' motive came down to systematically eliminating anyone who perceivably abandoned or rejected him, both at home and at work. This calls to mind a more recent father-daughter incest case, the story of Stephen Pladel, who impregnated and then married his 17-year-old daughter Katie. When Katie tried to pull away, a perceivable rejection and abandonment, Stephen also went on a killing spree. He took the lives of Katie and the child they had together, along with her adoptive father Anthony and himself. Like Simmons, Pladel could not tolerate rejection or abandonment under any circumstances, especially from the daughter he had ultimate mind control and domination over, which seems to be the #1 incentive for parents who commit incest in the first place.